Hey fam, what's good? It's your girl Jazzy. So I wanted to take a moment to discuss something with y'all. I've been seeing this hashtag Save Our Children a lot lately, and I think it's wonderful that y'all are supporting that movement on social media. But I wanted to hit some really important pieces on that subject. Okay, so yes, sexual abuse, human trafficking, sexual trafficking, molestation, rape, pedophilia, all of it is horrible. It's horrible for adults, but it's especially horrible to do it to an innocent child. All right? I've been seeing the post a lot, and I'm so happy that everyone is waking up to this. But we need to realize that this has been an issue all over the world, including the US, for a very long time. The US has had this issue since it became the US, okay? And it's not just a us or them issue. It's a human species issue, okay? But I've been seeing posts that supposedly the hashtag is being used by people that are for pedophilia. So the first point that I wanted to share with you guys is whatever hashtag you use, even if you come up with it just off the top of your dome, you should research it first, just to be certain. Now, I haven't looked into that hashtag. Like, there's a lot of people that share it that are against pedophilia. So I'm not sure if that claim is exactly true, but I'm just saying, check it out. Check out hashtags before you use them, just to be certain, because even if you just came up with it, random at the moment thing, you never know who else is using it and what they're using it for. So do your research before you share things on social media. That's one. Number two, I've been seeing people use other people's movements, whether they support it or not, and comparing it to save our children. Like comparing apples and oranges, like comparing the Black Lives Matter movement to Save Our Children movement. And that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why it makes sense to y'all, but you shouldn't really compare apples to oranges. It's not helping anybody. Okay, it looks naive and ignorant when you do those things. So for instance, like somebody says this movement's better than the other, or they have some type of attitude towards one. If you don't support a movement, that's fine. You don't have to, and you're entitled to your opinion. But don't use one movement to tear down another. That is a part of the problem. You are literally spreading hate and ignorance when you do that. You're saying, oh, whatever about this, but what about that? You can support more than one movement, okay? How about we all support each other and support all the movements? Don't use one to tear down another or try to justify your racism because you say you're against pedophilia. Let me tell you something. If you're racist, you're not against pedophilia for all children. You're only against it for your children. You know what I'm talking about? So let's improve on all aspects of ourselves and our lives. Don't use a movement to try to justify your ignorance. All right, so that's number two. Number three, is, so sharing movements, posts like that on social media is great. You're saying that you support a movement. You know, you're showing a lot of people are waking up these days. It's fantastic. I'm loving it and I'm fully supporting it. But the only thing that I ask is, you know, if all you can do is share on social media, that's fine. But if you're capable of actually being active in a movement, like going to peaceful protests, defending someone, and I don't mean like getting in a fight, going to jail, doing anything stupid, but if you know someone who's been a victim of violence, sexual abuse, anything like that, the best thing you can do is support that person. You know what I mean? If you want to donate to charities. You can donate your time. You can donate your energy. It doesn't have to be money, but if you can donate money and resources, that's fantastic. But be active in the movements that you share is all I'm asking. Be active, okay? If you can. All right, so that's 3. Number 4, and I think this is really important, so please listen up. I hear a lot of people when, an athlete or a politician, any type of celebrity, anybody with money and power is accused of things like sexual abuse. I hear a lot of ignorant comments like, oh, she just wants attention, or, that's not sexual abuse because it's a female teacher. So what if she's an adult? When I was in high school, all the guys wanted to be with her, da 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 da. It's still wrong. Just because you think it's acceptable or cool, whatever, it's still wrong. It's not. You need to wake up. People don't understand that when it comes to these things, people do not usually make up these stories. It doesn't matter if you're rich or famous. Most people don't want to witness or be a victim of domestic violence. They don't want to be molested or raped, whether it's a woman, a man, or a child, let alone make up a story about that. A lot of people don't realize, statistically speaking, it's rare for an adult to lie about being raped. It's especially extremely rare for a child to lie about something like that, okay? So if you don't know, you weren't there, you didn't see what happened, then keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, you need to support people. You really want to save the children, start believing them when they come out to you, okay? That's what I'm saying. Another thing a lot of people don't realize, and I can tell you this from personal experience, myself and other people that I know, family members, like friends, it happens a lot. I personally believe that rape culture is everywhere, including in the U.S. A lot of people don't want to believe that. They think because they haven't seen or heard it that it doesn't exist, but it does. When you make a joke about rape and everybody laughs about it, that is an example of rape culture. I've seen videos on social media. There's one I saw on YouTube. There was a fraternity at a college, and they were chanting outside. They were saying, no means yes, and yes means anal. That is a prime example of rape culture that is here in the U.S. So don't support rape culture. Don't joke about it. If you really want to help save the children, that's another thing you can do. So yeah, avoid stupid, ignorant statements like that. Like I said before, support victims. Even if you're not sure what really happened, the least you could do is help somebody get help. That's the most important thing that we all should be doing, okay? The first part of this subject, you need to be having a talk with your children. Not just about stranger danger or avoid drugs or the dangers of the internet. You need to have a discussion with them about boundaries, okay? If you're not already, you need to watch what they're doing on the internet, whether it's the phone, tablet, whatever, okay? You have passwords to every account until they're 18 years old. It's hella important. It's your job to know what they're doing at all times. You need to explain to them what boundaries are, what they look, see, and hear sound like. Okay? So what I mean by boundaries is a prime example of something that is very common here in the U.S. and one of the top examples of sexual abuse that gets reported and investigated in Oklahoma through DHS is exposure to pornography. So I see a lot of people talking about preteens and teenagers. Oh, my son, my nephew, my daughter, whoever, I found a magazine or I found a video on their phone. They're watching pornography. When I was growing up, that was normal. It don't matter. It don't matter. If that's how you were raised, okay, that's how you were raised, but that doesn't make it right, honey. It's still wrong. If your child is under the age of 18, they are a child. Okay, so if you allow them to watch pornography, you are sexually abusing your child. You literally can go to jail for that and get your kids taken away. If another person shows pornography to your child, they are sexually abusing your child. They broke boundaries. Don't allow your kids to watch porn. Don't allow anybody else to show it to them. Don't allow them to have access. Okay, pornography, it doesn't matter what website you go on. There's going to be stuff that's messed up and that can mess with their psyche. Their brains aren't fully developed. Okay, there's pornography where there's molestation, there's rape, there's shaming, there's incest, there's like extreme BDSM. They're not going to understand that. Even if it's consensual adults acting, you can still mess up their brains. They're going to have the wrong ideas about sex. And a lot of rapists, if you look at their interviews and how they got to that point of never stopping and continuously being a rapist, they will tell you a lot of them got the idea from watching pornography. Okay, so that's a boundary you need to have a discussion about with your kids. Another one is you need to explain to them, that it's okay to tell an adult no if they're not being disrespectful. Not saying tell your kids to be disrespectful. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is explain to your kids that if anybody, no matter what age, where they're at, what's going on, if they do something to them, ask them to do something or do something in front of them, show them something, whatever. Like touching them, making them touch them, even making them look at something. Could be anything. It could be listening to a song. It could be looking at pictures or taking pictures. If any moment your kid feels uncomfortable, afraid, or in pain, they have the right to tell that person no. They have the right to leave. They have the right to tell a safe person what happened, and that is what they should do if someone breaks their boundaries. I have this conversation with my kids all the time, but unfortunately, I didn't have a conversation with them when they were very little, when they were very young, because I thought they were too young to understand. I hardly let them stay the night at anybody's house. It was only real close family members that were left alone with them. I'm still that way, but it can still happen. You need to have conversations like this with your kids before it happens. Okay? And last but not least, like I talked about before, supporting victims. When you do that, help them find the resources. Help them get therapy. And when it happens, their close family members need to have therapy too. And I can tell you really good resources here in Oklahoma is it's called Bethesda in Norman. It's free counseling, okay? They're a nonprofit. People donate to them, so they will not charge you for services. It's for any child that has been sexually abused. Whether the predator has been charged or not, they're allowed to have services, okay? And also the parents who go there. Because believe me, if it happens to your kids, they're not going to be the only one who needs therapy after everything is said and done. You will too. So please, please show love and support to the victims. Educate yourselves and your kids on boundaries. And use those resources, all right? Okay, guys, stay safe. Stay beautiful. Bye.